Hello, good night, good night, good night. Good night. Hopefully you all are doing well. Forgive me for there might be a little vibration in this video, but the little piece on the back of my phone, I just dropped it, and it just broke, and I can't hold it steady. But I thought it was important that I popped on and did this again today. It's like I did last night, talking about Chronicles from Las Vegas. So I did the Las Vegas thing today. It was wonderful. I'm in the airport. I'm about to take a red eye to Miami. I'm in the airport now. As you can see, this is the airport, beautiful terminal that it is. The red eye flight is probably the roughest flight in the world because I won't reach to Miami until 6 a.m. in the morning, but it is what it is. I load at midnight and I get there at 6. I'll be in Trinidad by I think 10, something like that, because I get off and I go straight to my flight and I go straight there. But I want to talk to you guys briefly about the Kinda Want It crew. Kinda Want It. So last night I was talking about the sacrifices that you have to make to get to the top, right? Hello, Dr. Angela. Now I was talking about the sacrifices you have to make to get to the top. That was last night, right? So I'm telling you, the universe has a way of making sure that I get a message to give people, because every time I look around, it is a message that I could give you based on an experience. So let me tell you what the flight to Miami is like 7 hours or something like that, 6 or 7 hours. So I'll be there in the morning. No, I won't be. I'll be there for less than 30 minutes. I'm literally going from one flight to the other. I'm just going to have to clear customs to go to Trinidad. That's all. So let me tell you what had happened today. What had happened was this. And so if you hear me pausing a lot, it's because my flight is about to come up on the board in front of me. So I stayed behind in Las Vegas a little while longer because somebody had asked me last month if I would be willing to have a quick meetup with them while I was here. I said where I was going to be. I figured like this. I already made the hardest trip. The hardest trip was the 6 hours on the flight to get here. The hardest trip was the time zone change and staying up overnight. The hardest trip was getting dressed, getting down there to the stage this morning, doing what I have to do. I'll share pictures later. That was the hardest part of the trip, right? So you figure I made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, let's not talk about the sacrifice of me speaking in Las Vegas is not a sacrifice for this person. This is my sacrifice to my own company. But the sacrifice of, okay, well, I'll stay around in the hotel because it was my goal to kind of go to another hotel and kind of chill out for a little while. So, as I was waiting for this person to come, I don't know what made me check my phone because I hadn't checked it all day.
On the concourse. This is the final boarding call for Hawaiian Airlines flight number 5 with delayed service.
So as I was sitting there waiting, all of a sudden I get this text. Oh, Carol, I can't make it. Why can't you make it? The cost of parking at the MGM is $25, and I think that's pretty high. I don't know what happened. Like I spazzed out for a second. You worried about the cost of parking? Wait a minute, hold on. Let me refrain a little bit because I'm just trying to, I'm in a public place. I can't say what I want to say. So you worry about the cost of parking? Wait a minute. We've had this meeting scheduled and you're worried about the cost of parking? So the cost of parking at the MGM Grand is $25. And so you made a decision to waste my ever-loving time because the cost of parking is too high? So they were like, when's the next time you're going to be in Vegas? Now, we are going to greet them with a chirp because there are a lot of wannapreneurs, there are a lot of imagepreneurs, and there are a lot of kindapreneurs. And kindapreneurs are, I kind of want it as long as it's convenient. Look, I told you guys last night, I left my house almost 5 or 6 days ago. I've been sleeping out of my luggage, all my luggage and everything sitting here. I've been with this blanket on me. I've been in multiple airports. And if the only thing that's stopping you from meeting me, now you live here, I don't live here. I'm passing through for a few hours. And you're talking to me about the cost of parking at this particular venue was too expensive for you to make the investment in parking. I want y'all to sit with that and marinate. It has nothing to do with me as a person or as a brand. It has everything to do with what that person thinks of themselves. My issue has always been is there are a grade of kindpreneurs. That's what I'm gonna call them, kindpreneurs, who kind of want it as long as it's in their backyard. And then the person continues to ask me in another message, when's the next time you're coming out here? Or maybe I'll come to you. How about never? I judge you based on how our first interaction is. Just because you can afford to waste your time doesn't mean that I can afford to waste my own time. So in being kind and in being egregious, I want to make sure you understand this. There are a lot of different quote-unquote entrepreneurs in the market. There are the babypreneurs, there are the immaturepreneurs, there are the fashionpreneurs, there are flyerpreneurs. But this kindpreneur crap, I'm so like, I'm not there. Because kindpreneurs are the only ones that kind of want it as long as it's cheap, as long as it's convenient, as long as it's in their backyard, as long as they don't have to make a sacrifice to get it. And some of you may either know a kindpreneur, maybe that is what you are, meaning you're not willing to really get but there are neverpreneurs, and there are a lot of different ones. I have a whole list of them on my desk. But it's amazing what people won't do. So you won't make a $25 parking investment, but you want me to come back and make another 6-hour familial investment? Are you crazy? And it's not just me, but think about it. How many opportunities do many people miss because they won't go to the next city, the next town, get on a bus, get on a plane, get on take an Uber? Like, how many opportunities are you missing because you kind of want it, because you want it as long as it's convenient? How many opportunities have you really missed out on because you're not willing to just make that extra effort, that extra phone call, maybe an extra email? Do you know what sacrifice you gotta make? Again, I know that something is wrong with me personally, that maybe I make it look too easy. Well, this is the real world. Like, I'm really in the airport. You really hear this behind me. Like, I'm really doing this. I'm really speaking in Trinidad tomorrow. I'm only doing a walkthrough. But the convention is the following day. I'm speaking for 2 days there. I'm only going home to get a change of clothes and a fresh hairdo, and I'm going back on the road again. Like, this is the kind of sacrifice I gotta make. And you can't make a sacrifice to leave your house. Girl, don't quote, don't pray. You can't make a sacrifice to leave your house because you don't want to pay to park. Then you don't want to pay to play. Listen, there's always going to be some level of sacrifice you have to make, whether it's financial, whether it's time, whether it's an investment of your family, your friends, whatever it is. But just do yourself a favor. If you're willing to waste your time, that's cool. That's your time. But don't waste other people's time by making them believe that you really want it. Because if you kind of want it, that's fine. But be very transparent in saying that I will meet with you as long as, and then put out what the parameters of as long as parking is under $20. If you know that up front, then you know that that's a kindpreneur that you don't necessarily have to invest that much time in. But the thing for me is I get frustrated because like I was venting to you guys last night, I can't coach in this space. You see this space, this everybody wanting the Instagram and the IG space and the Instapreneur space. I can't coach in this space until this space is over with, and until people think like human beings, and the fact that, you know, we only put out the results, we don't put out all of the stuff that goes behind the results. Until this is over, I just won't meet with people. I just won't have anything to do with it. It's just really hard on me to make that conscious decision, and I don't know who else kind of sides with this, but you got to get into a point where if you are coaching, all of these are filters you got to put into your company, your business. Who are the people who are showing up? Are they kindpreneurs? Because the kindpreneur, and I'm going to tell you something about kindpreneurs. The kind of do business with you, as long as the kind of stuff that they want are the only things that you're offering, and as long as it's convenient. So I can't coach in this space. And so today I did everything I could not to cuss and carry on and make it like a nut, because I was like, this is a waste of time. I could have left hours ago. But then you say, well, next time you're here. What did you think I was doing? I came here to pick up Mike, drop Mike, and go. I didn't come here to chill out and wait until parking was on sale. Like, that's not what I came for. I came to work. My thing is, you live here. How bad you really want it? Like, how bad do some of you really want it? And also, I'm going to hold you all accountable. Why are you guys hanging out with kindpreneurs? Like, why? Why? Talk to me. Why? Why are you hanging out with people who kind of want it? And then you're worrying about, well, why are things not working out? Because you're hanging out with them. You should not be associated with a kindpreneur. You should not even have a conversation. Those people should not even have your number. Now, if you think she'll ever have my number again, think again. I am so shady. That will never come through my phone again. Trust me, because she didn't get a response. But why are you hanging out with a kindpreneur? Why are you even associating with them? Why do you even think that this is worth it for you? You offer so much more to the world than the people you align yourself with. And it is so... sometimes it feels like people negate themselves because they want to hang out with people who have a familiar language, who have familiar experiences. And I'm telling you, if you keep hanging out with a kindpreneur, think of it like this. Anything in life that you want is easy to catch. I'm going to leave you with that. You hang out with wannapreneurs and babypreneurs and kindpreneurs and fakepreneurs and picturepreneurs long enough, you're going to catch what they got. You hang out with successful people long enough, you'll catch what they have. You keep hanging out with people who kind of want it, you're going to kind of get it. And you're going to kind of have good days and you're going to kind of have bad days. Anything you hang out with long term, you will catch. If you hang out with someone who has pneumonia or who has the flu, you will catch it. And if you hang out with people who kind of want it, you will limit your language based on what they can do. And you would think that that's normal. Even in today's convention today, I remember a lady asked a question about where to take advice from. And I said the same thing I say to everybody. I don't take advice from people who don't sit in a seat that I want to sit in. I don't take advice from people who never sat in that seat. So I don't allow people to give me unsolicited advice. So when this kindpreneur has all of these wonderful pictures all over the place and flyers of where he or she is going, and I'm not going to say names. One of these days, I promise you, just give me a second, it's coming. I'm going to do a full video about all the people you should stay away from, because a lot of you are associated with those folks, and this is the reason I have nothing to do with them. But I see the pictures and the glamourpreneur, and then when it's time for you to get it, you don't want it. But you asked me for it. I said yes, and then at the end, you don't go for it. And then again, like I said, even if that's not you, why are you hanging out with a kindpreneur? Why are you hanging out with people who kind of want it? Why are you hanging out with people who are all into their feelings and convenient and procrastinators? Why are you hanging out with these people? Why do you have conversations with these people? Why do you hang out with people who haven't done anything? Why are you hanging out with people who have not contributed anything to the world? Why are you hanging out with these people? Why do they have your number? Why do they have your phone number? Why do they have access to you? Why do you respond to these people? When people send you an inbox and you know it's full of whatever, sugar, honey, iced tea, why do you respond to it? For what reason? They're not taking you anywhere. Because the moment they got you entrapped in their attention, the moment that they feel like got you, they will keep you in a cycle spinning with your vocabulary. And they're going to say, you know, you shouldn't do this, you should do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. That lady will never get my number again. She will never have access to me. I know she's waiting to say, well, let's talk again. Yeah, right, sure. That'll never happen because you wasted my ever-loving day. I should have been out long ago. I should have been out a long time ago, and I waited for you. Never again, because I don't associate with kindpreneurs. Kinda. If you kinda want it, it's not for me. I'm all in or all out. I don't do the in-between. So I just had to let that out. I just had to let that out because I really worry. I really worry. And I'll be a little bit more transparent as we go along because I really, really, really worry about what people think it takes. I really worry that people really just think that we appear in nice clothes and all of a sudden we're on stage, and I think that people don't understand. People try to waste your time all the time. People try to take advantage of us. People don't understand it. Look, I told y'all last night, I'm asleep in the plane and in the airport. This is not cute. This is the sacrifice I make. I'm making a sacrifice to sleep in the airport. Well, I'm going to fall asleep somehow until my flight starts at 1 o'clock. And then you can't make a 30-minute drive and park? What kind of... Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that where it is. I'm going to leave that where it is. And then you want to know, why is it not happening? I know why it's not happening. It's because you don't want it bad enough. You kind of want it. You want it as long as it's convenient to you. And that's why it's not happening long term. All right, I'm finished ranting. I'm finished raving. I'm going to lay down in this airport. I got 2 more hours to go. And I'm sure somebody else will do something between now and then that I promise you I'll tell you about. But it's important that you know that every step of this journey, it's not just this journey, but every step of this journey that you're on, specifically you, whoever you are, that you're on, every part of this journey, you're going to have to document. And every person that has come in your life who has not done anything as to contribute value in some way, shape, or form, do yourself a favor and eliminate them early. Don't wait till later. Don't give people second chances and third chances. How people show up is how they are. And if you're not careful, you'll take on people who they have a good game, they talk a good game, but they never take action. And in this particular time in your life, this is action season. You don't have time. You are no longer in a space of having time to wait for somebody to get it together until they take action. You're in action season. This is the end of 2019. How many times have I said you've been promising yourself things from 2015 that you haven't accomplished, 2014 that you haven't accomplished, and you keep carrying them over like they're anytime minutes that you could carry over, and you haven't accomplished them yet because you're hanging out with the wrong people, you're taking the wrong advice, and you're underestimating the level of sacrifice that it takes to make big things happen. The level of sacrifice that it takes to make something happen is astonishing. And the thing is, because you're looking at people's timeline, they only post the progress. They don't post the sacrifice. I don't think anybody ever says what they have to sacrifice to make the progress happen. And because you're falling for the timeline and you watching your bottom line and then you watching what's in your bank account, you have this idea that is just, oh, if I put up a flyer and I do an event and and you think it's that easy. It is not. You know how many people want to argue with me about nonsense all day long because, oh, you didn't do this, or you didn't come here, you didn't support this one, and you didn't. Come on. You can't do that. And the reason I don't give second and third chances is this. My grandmother was a wise woman, and I miss her daringly because she would say things to me like, how people meet you is how they will always treat you. And my grandmother was a huge proponent in, she used to do this thing where, so there's 15 grandchildren, right? Just telling you old feeble from Trinidad, eh? She had 15 grandchildren, and she would give us all different types of birthday cards. And you knew who she loved based on the birthday card. If you didn't get one, you meant nothing to her. And she was really strict about that. And like, I didn't get it then, but I get it now. Don't get me wrong, I was the favorite because I've always lived with her. But the other grandchildren who, wouldn't even take the time to say Happy Mother's Day, she would actually reciprocate the behavior in making sure that she never gave them anything either. And for you, if you could take that story and associate it with time, when people don't give you anything, why are you giving them your time? Like a birthday card or a Christmas card is something you can pick up at Hallmark any day of the week. But think about when you're giving people your valuable time and they haven't accomplished anything and they don't mean anything in your life and they're never going to give you anything. Think about how what that means. That's why this one won't have access to me again, because she showed me in her first action what it really means. Her first action. And so there is no second action. There's no need. Because here's the thing. For the one action she had to do, I did 5. Meaning, I left my home. I flew here. I'm struggling with allergies. I did all of the stuff I needed to do. I stayed back. I checked out of the hotel. I hung out. And I waited. So for all the actions I did, she only had to do 1. And her 1 would never equate to my 5. So for my 5, I said, oh, I don't need this anymore. There's no relationship here. There will never be a relationship because she's nothing to offer me. And so if you get to a point where you know that the people who you are sacrificing to give advice to, sacrificing to be around, if you know that those people are not reciprocating that generosity to you, don't do it. Everything is not about money. A lot of it is about time. You can't make money without making sure you value your own time. So if once you get to that level, you'll start seeing, oh, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. Because I say no a lot more than I say yes. People have this idea that I say yes to everything. No, I don't live in that time of yes. I live in a time of no. I say no more often because it's more important for me to do what's important with my time than to be busy. I don't like to be busy and broke. I'm sorry. It's not my forte. If I'm gonna be busy, I'm gonna be busy and bank it. They go together. I'm not gonna be busy and broke. So I'm not gonna speak all over the place and be broke. I'm not gonna run up and down the road and be broke. Like, everything is for profit. I'm not doing this because I have nothing else to do. I got tons of other things to do. So there has to be reciprocity in relationship. And so all of you got to kind of like really think about that. What does that mean to you? And why are you donating your time to people who wouldn't even donate a dime toward you? Because the universe is trying to tell you something. You haven't gotten that far, not because of, race or gender. That's nothing. That has nothing to do with it. You haven't gotten anywhere because you're spending your time with people who are wasting your time. If you got real conscious about that, all the other excuses you tell yourself would be meaningless, because you'd see that everything else that you've been feeding yourself is a bunch of lies. Race has nothing to do with it. Gender has nothing to do with it. Where you live has nothing to do with it. They're planes, trains, automobiles, emails, and phones. I don't understand how you can say, because I live in Detroit, it can't happen. Wait a minute. You got an email? You don't have to move to make it happen. You just got to be very, very strategic to make it happen. You can live anywhere. You could do anything. But if you're not around the right people, you will always believe the lie you've told yourself, because you've invested in the lie. And now you've invested in the people who continue to lie to you. And if you invest in the people who continue to lie to you, they will bring more people to you to lie to you even more. So, let me not go on with that. Anywho, let me get ready to kind of lay down. Because when I say lay down, I just need some coffee, and I'm just going to chill out until my flight leaves. And I should be on the East Coast by 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now it is, 8 o'clock Pacific Time or something like that. I think it is, let's see. 8 something. Anyway, I should be on your coast pretty soon. And then right after that, Trinidad. And then I should be doing this all over again. I had a great time today, but every level, I'm learning something new. And I promise you, I will not make time for meetings any longer after events. Go home like I like to do. Because I should have been in my pajamas, laying up in the bed. I had the bed till 4 o'clock, and I checked out of the room for this nonsense. And I could have been in my bed, yes. This make me angry, yes? Anyway, LOL. I love you all for life, but I want y'all to do better. Stop hanging out with the kind entrepreneurs. They kind of want it. You really want it? Stop hanging out with people who kind of want it. They want it when it's convenient. You want it because you want it. And if you get to that level, you'll never turn back and go to a kind entrepreneur ever again. Anyway, love you guys for life. See you tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Bye.